we say good.
The season finale, titled Winter Fire, begins with a dense, unnatural fog rolling into Derry, rapidly coating the town in a layer of frost that kills the foliage upon contact. This meteorological anomaly signals the immediate consequence of the military destroying one of the containment pillars, effectively releasing Pennywise from his dormant state. Meanwhile, at Derry High School, the intercom crackles to life with the voice of Principal Dunleavy, dismissing the seniors while ordering the younger students to report immediately to the gymnasium for a special assembly. Once the students are packed inside, the curtains part to reveal the principal standing stiffly on stage, yet his movements are jerky and marionette-like. Suddenly, Pennywise the dancing clown steps out from behind him. To our horror, the clown rips the principal's head from his shoulders before unleashing the deadlights, placing the entire student body, including Will Hamlin, into a catatonic trance. He then tethers the entranced children to his carnival wagon, dragging them through the frozen streets in a macabre floating parade toward the woods. Meanwhile, the trio of Marge, Lily, and Ronnie are bamboozled by the sign of their town being covered by fog, and upon exiting the tower, see missing posters of numerous school children stuck on the walls, making them fear for the worst. Not wasting time, they arrive at the school to find the gruesome remains of the principal and a blood-splattered missing person poster for Will Hamlin, which shocks them to the core. Realizing that Pennywise has taken their friend, the girls resolve to use the mystical dagger, a shard from the original fallen star, to hunt the creature down. They track the trail of blood, and to expedite their search, Marge drives the group in a truck. But being inexperienced, she crashes into a tree after failing to notice a pothole, and the dagger falls off the truck. But shockingly, Lily behaves possessive when Marge and Ronnie try to take possession of it. It dawns on them that the artifact is exerting a corrupting influence on Lily, causing her to become paranoid and possessive. Recognizing the danger of the dagger's psychological toll, the girls agree to take turns carrying it as they track the trail of blood towards the frozen river. Back inside Leroy Hamlin's home, he gets a call, but upon answering it hears Will's voice, asking him for help. But then, this happens.
Listen, please. Don't put your hands on my son! Don't touch my son, you hear me?
The scene shifts to the psychic Dick Halloran, who is seeing the dead spirits of his fallen comrades, and not being able to withstand the psychological trauma, decides to harm himself. Just then, Leroy knocks on his door, but after getting no answers, forces himself in. He is confronted by a disheveled Halloran who threatens to shoot unless he backs off, but when Leroy reveals that his son, Will, has been taken by Pennywise, Halloran decides to help the poor father. Meanwhile, at the military base, Colonel Fuller informs General Francis Shaw about the escape of Leroy and Halloran. This betrayal does not sit well with Shaw as he plans to unleash Pennywise onto the general masses of the town, willing to make them suffer. Leroy brings Halloran to his home and faces the wrath of his wife after she learns about Will's abduction. Fortunately, Rose steps in, informing the group that there is still hope. She informs them about the mysterious dagger, which when buried inside the earth, will connect with the other containment pillars, effectively trapping Pennywise. But in order to know the location of the dagger, Halloran must use his psychic abilities. Rose provides Halloran with a special tea to amplify his psychic abilities, and he soon tracks down the dagger along with Lily and her friends.
I see it! Where?
Meanwhile, Lily and her friends reach Pennywise's carnival wagon, seeing Will and others floating magically above the ground. They are soon confronted by the evil Pennywise, but Ronnie holds the dagger firmly in her hand, forcing him to keep distance. But then this happens. Pennywise corners Marge in the mist, taunting her with a shocking revelation that she is Margaret Tozier and showing her a vision of her future son, Richie Tozier, who is destined to defeat him decades later. The entity attempts to kill her to sever this timeline, but just then, he freezes. It is revealed that Halloran used his mental powers to trap Pennywise in a psychic construct, forcing the entity to believe he is merely Bob Gray, a failing human carnival worker.
Bob! Are you okay, friend?
Papa, you're all right.
This releases the children from trance, and Marge reunites with her friends. Leroy and the rest of the adults arrive at the spot, and he hands the dagger to Daniel. But just as they were about to bury the dagger, Shaw and his men arrive, shooting Leroy and Taniel, fatally wounding the latter. The soldiers hold them at gunpoint, while Shaw goes to confront the trapped Pennywise. The illusion holds only briefly before Pennywise breaks free due to the soldiers interrupting Halloran. But to our utter shock, Shaw lets the monster loose, hoping to create an alliance. But the evil Pennywise transforms into the general's greatest fear, a diseased, rotting figure, and consumes him. His scream alerts the rest of the soldiers, and taking advantage of this distraction, Leroy and Halloran subdue the rest of the soldiers. He then requests Will to bury the dagger, and the children try their best to do so. But Pennywise, now free from Halloran's prison, menacingly approaches the kids to devour them. Fortunately, Leroy shoots him on the head, making the monster fall to the ice-covered ground. But even this is not enough to stop the evil entity. Newhead pops up, and Leroy runs out of bullets. Just then a miracle happens. The ghost of Rich, who died in the Black Spot fire, manifests to aid his friends. With the spectral help of Rich and the combined strength of the group, they drive the dagger into the earth, activating the ancient barrier. Pennywise transforms into a monstrous bat-like creature attempting to stop the barrier, but a strong beam of light strikes him, defeating him completely and seemingly trapping Pennywise's physical form once again. In the aftermath of the battle, the town of Derry attempts to return to a semblance of normalcy, though the scars of the winter fire remain. A funeral is held for Rich Santos, where Marge delivers a eulogy honoring his bravery, while Dick observes Rich's spirit comforting his grieving father from a distance. That evening, the group begins to fracture as their paths diverge. Ronnie and her father Hank prepare to flee to Nova Scotia to escape legal trouble, after sharing a final, tender goodbye with Will. Dick Halloran announces his departure for a culinary job at a hotel in London, and the Hanlons, initially packing to leave, decide instead to purchase Rose's farm and remain in Derry to act as guardians of the barrier, ensuring the entity remains contained. The episode concludes with a flash forward to 1988, 26 years later, at the Juniper Hill Asylum. Ingrid Kirsch, still institutionalized, investigates a disturbance in the hallway and discovers a fellow patient has hung herself in her room. At the feet of the hanging woman sits a young girl, revealed to be the future Beverly Marsh. And then, this happens.
You know what they say about Derry. No one who dies here ever really dies.
Thus bringing the movie to an ominous end. Thank you for watching. If you like this recap, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And please don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel.